Back in 2014, McDonald's opened its very first Vietnam store in Ho Chi Minh City. This was a big deal. Hundreds of customers showed up at the launch and a whopping 400,000 customers visited this new sensation in the very first month. The store was actually opened by the Prime Minister's son-in-law himself. It seemed like McDonald's was going to be a big thing in this East Asian country. And not just McDonald's, Burger King also saw a successful launch when it first opened its store in 2011. But as of 2020, just a few years after the launch, McDonald's only has 17 stores in the country and Burger King only has 13. So in this video, we will look into the reasons why global fast food chains like McDonald's and Burger King have failed in Vietnam. Let's start. Fast food globally is more than $500 billion of business each year. Burger King has more than 16,000 locations in over 100 countries, and McDonald's has over 36,000 stores. But all this scale and demand for these restaurants failed to help them sustain in Vietnam, a unique market with their own food culture which these companies perhaps fail to acknowledge. Broadly, there are 5 factors that led to the failure of these fast food chains in Vietnam. First, the local food culture. While fast food might be somewhat a newer concept in Asia at the time of launch, Vietnam was different. In Vietnam, the concept of fast food had existed for a long time. Pho, the favorite local noodle soup, is something that the local vendors can prepare in seconds. So McDonald's unique selling point, that is offering fast service, didn't even matter because the locals could get faster service from traditional Vietnamese food outlets. And talking about local vendors brings us to a second point, the local competition. There are more than 600,000 food outlets in Vietnam, and almost 80% of these are local vendors. You can find them everywhere, in big cities to small villages and even on boats. The locals didn't want to settle for a limited range of a fast food chain because they had a lot of options already from all these vendors. Next is pricing. A Big Mac in Vietnam costs roughly $2.80. It seems reasonable if you're living in the West and earning a Western income. However, for the local customer, this is a premium price. And tying this back to the previous points, they have a lot of other options from local vendors for fast food at a cheaper price. Despite local menu adaptations, the idea of paying double for a burger, a glass of Coke and some fries didn't really appeal to the Vietnamese customers. The sharing culture. In Vietnamese tradition, it's common for the whole family or a group of friends to sit together and share their food with each other. And burgers are not really the type of food that most people would want to share. For example, pizzas on the other hand don't have such constraints, and this can partly explain Pizza Hut's success in the region. The Vietnam War. The Vietnam War caused severe bitterness between the US and Vietnam, and the two countries closed trade for many years after the war ended. But in 1995, the leaders of both nations decided to bury the hatchet and reopen their doors for commerce, with KFC's opening being one of the landmark events. But during all these years, when Vietnam didn't allow American businesses to enter their country, the gap in the market for food outlets was filled by local business owners. And it was perhaps a bit too late for these fast food joints to gain traction. While there is a culture change happening in the region, and Vietnam is not privy to this, it is still a long way to go for these and any future fast food chains in Vietnam. Entering crowded markets can be extremely challenging. But these companies are adapting to local market tastes to drive growth in their business. It would be interesting to see what the future holds for them. I hope you enjoyed this video, and if you did, do drop in a like and subscribe to show your support for the channel. Thank you for watching.